Welcome to the Steve Ames Show with pianist Mike Iannuzzi and my special guests, the Billy Young Band. And now, on with the show. I want to hear it again, I want to hear it again. The old piano roll blues. We're sitting at an upright, my sweetie and me, pushing on the pedal, making sweet harmony. When we hear plinkety-plink and we hear clickety-clink, we cuddle closer, it seems, and while we kiss, kiss, kiss away all our cares, the player pianist playing razzmatazz. I want to hear it again, I want to hear it again. The old piano roll blues. When we hear plickety-plink and we hear clickety-clink, we cuddle close, it seems, and while we kiss, kiss, kiss away all our cares, the player pianist playing razzmatazz. I want to hear it again, I want to hear it again. The old piano roll, the old piano roll, the old piano roll blues. That's the old piano roll blues with words and music by Cy Coben and played so magnificently tonight by my pianist at the keyboard, Mike Iannuzzi. Let's hear it for him. Mike is going solo tonight because our great guitar player, Sandy Renda, is out of town on a very important job. But Sandy will be back with us next time. You know, folks, I believe that everything old is new again. So here's another song with old in the title. It was a big hit for the Guy Lombardo Band, and it was written by Guy's brother, Carmen Lombardo. Seems like old times. Seems like old times. Having you to walk with seems like old times. Having you to talk with, and it's still a thrill just to have my arms around you. Still a thrill that it was the day I found you. Seems like old times. Dinner dates and flowers seems like old times. Staying up for hours, making dreams come true. Doing things we used to do seems like old times. Being here with you, it seems like old times. Having you to walk with seems like old times. Having you to walk with, and it's still a thrill just to have my arms around you. Still a thrill that it was the day I found you. Seems like old times. Dinner dates and flowers seems like old times. Staying up for hours, making dreams come true. Doing things we used to do seems like old times. Being here with you. Iannuzzi, that was a great job on the old piano roll blues.
Thank you, Steve.
And I always enjoy hearing you play the piano, whether it's jazz or a ballad or whatever it may be.
Thank you.
And I also enjoy hearing our wonderful guitarist, Sandy Renda, playing his magnificent guitar.
Hard to play without him.
I know, but you did a good job. And Sandy is out of town, like I mentioned, but he will be back with us on the next show.
Playing without me somewhere, no doubt.
So that's good news for all the Sandy Renda fans, and there are many Sandy Renda fans, that he
Yes,
will
there
be
are.
with us on the next show. We should also mention that you've known Sandy longer than anybody here. How long have you known him?
I've known Sandy for now, I guess, 32 years.
And that's when you started
When
playing
I
with his
started-
band.
Well, actually, he played at my wedding, and I gave him my card. And a year later, he called me, and I was playing with the band.
I did not know that story.
Yeah, that's a true story.
Isn't that interesting? And then you
Absolutely.
joined his band, Sandy and the Wanderers.
Yes, I actually knew before I knew Sandy. I knew the other guitar player, Freddie,
Right.
and he was the one who turned me on to the band. And I used to go. I used to go to different clubs and listen to them play, and I was like a Sandy Renda, groupie.
And you liked them enough to hire them for your wedding.
That's right.
And that's an interesting story.
It
you know?
is, yep.
Everything old is new again, like I mentioned before. And recently in September, I re-released an old LP I had recorded in 1986 entitled The Roaring Twenties Roar Again. So now it is available on CD. And just very recently, over the past few months, a review on my CD appeared in the Eddie Cantor Appreciation Society newsletter, which goes all over the country, written by the president, Michelle Malik, and I will read it to you now. Steve Ames is back in business with the Jersey Bounce Band and the Roaring Twenties Roar Again. A true connoisseur of the jazz age, Steve gets the toes tapping with a hot variety of 12 of the day's classics, such as The Chic of Araby, Ain't We Got Fun, Chicago, Charleston, and my personal favorites, It Had to Be You, When You're Smiling, and the jaunty Don't Bring Lulu, among a host of other greats and a couple of pleasing medleys. So I want to thank Michelle Malik very much for writing such a gracious review. I really appreciate it. And now I also appreciate whenever you play the piano. What's the number for tonight?
Tonight we're doing a number that was written for a movie, but that really became popular after the movie came out, called Laura.
Correct. The movie was called Laura, starring Gene Tierney and Clifton Webb and Vincent Price.
Vincent Price, one of my favorite movies.
Very good actors in that film. And like you said, the song has lyrics by Johnny Mercer, but we're not going to hear the lyrics.
Correct.
We're going to hear the beautiful piano stylings by Mike, and the melody was written by David Raxkin.
There you go.
Let's hear it from Mike Yanuzzi at the piano.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, our special guests tonight are a terrific country band. Please welcome the Billy Young Country Band.
I'm the center of attention in this barroom, 'cause I got the biggest heartache of the year. And it's not those swinging doors reach out for me and draw me in, 'cause I know each night I'll come back, wind me up again. Wind me up, turn me on and watch me cry for you. Lately drinking warm red wine is all I wanna do. I never know how tight I'll wind me up till I walked in. I don't care, I'll be back to wind me up again. I'd like to thank the men that raise the grapes way out in California, and I'm hoping this will be their biggest year. 'Cause scarlet water's all that's left, keep me hanging on, and that's why I try to wind me up each day and night next year. Wind me up, turn me on and watch me cry for you. Lately drinking warm red wine is all I wanna do. I never know how tight I'll wind me up till I walked in. I don't care, I'll be back to wind me up again. Whoa, I don't care, I'll be back to wind me up again. Oh yeah.
Billy, thank you. Thank you so much for coming
You're
on the
welcome.
show. And I want to thank Dottie Williams for first introducing me to you at one of her jamborees a few months ago. That's where we first met, remember?
Yep.
You were playing there with the band. So how long have you had a band now?
Oh, about maybe 3 months.
But you've been in the business longer than that,
Yeah.
right? How long you been in the business now?
Oh, about 30 years.
That's a long time. Tell me about that opening number that you just sang.
That was a Fair and Young song. My dad co-wrote that song.
Right. That's a great, great song. So you do a lot of your dad's material?
I mix it in with
You mix it in with,
with
all
the
the
regular
country songs.
Yeah, the country we're doing.
That's right. Tell me more about your dad. He was a very important man in the music business. Tell the folks about him.
My dad was the legend out of Nashville. My father was born in Shreveport, Louisiana. My dad grew up on the dairy farm, and my father was a superstar. He was a rebel, and what else can I say? He didn't care if it was country. My father would sing country, he'd sing pop. Other artists recorded it, they married to him. My father said, it's my turn.
That's right. And he had a long career, right? How long about his career?
He had 35 years, 3 generations.
That's right. And his records are now being reproduced onto CD. Any of the old records?
Anytime a band in the country music plays his song, they all applaud. He
That's
was a
wonderful.
legend.
Have you got quite a collection of your dad's records and
Oh,
CD
yeah.
music?
Yeah, I have all his albums. I have 45s, plus I played drums behind him twice.
Oh, that's right. You did appear with your dad. Okay, we're going back a number of years, right? Yeah, tell me where and when.
That was back in 1979. I met him in his celebrity ballroom in Nashville. And I went up, played drums. He turned around and he said, I hear you sing. I said, yeah. He says, I sing your song. He says, you do, huh? So I sang Occasional Wipe. And he looked at the crowd. He said, "A little guy even sounds like me."
Isn't that something?
And 2 weeks later, I played drums behind him.
That's quite a memory, huh? That's
Yeah.
quite a memory. Now tell me about these very talented musicians you brought tonight. They're going to introduce themselves a little later. How did you get together with all these guys?
I knew Mel. He's my keyboard player. His cousin's on the drums, Bud. I know Grady from way, way back. And the steel player, Greg, I just met him about a month ago right here in Nutley.
Nutley. Okay.
Nutley, New Jersey is playing with a band at the VFW. So I asked him, he called him up. He says, "Yeah, okay, bring up the CD so I can learn it." They're all professional entertainers.
Well, we're going to have the band introduce themselves personally to the audience in just a moment, but tell us about the next song you're going to sing for us.
She Went a Little Bit Farther. That was one of my father's #1 songs.
Very good, very good. Well, Billy, it was a delight to hear you, and we're looking forward to your next number very much. Continued success to you and the band and the memory of your father's great legacy. Let's hear it for Billy Young.
Thank you.
Hi, my name's Greg Dawson, pedal steel player.
Hi, I'm Bud Moore. I'm a drummer.
Grady Carter, lead guitar.
Mike Madden, bass guitar.
Mal Mann, keyboard player.
Loving me to you seems such a bother. It made it easy for me to love another. So don't blame her for stealing me, you let her. Where your love stopped, she went a little bit farther. You changed so much, I was more at ease with a stranger. It wasn't so hard, our love was already in danger. She does everything that pleases me, you never. Where your love stopped, she went a little bit farther. She went a little bit farther to make me feel love. She considered my feelings, now she's all I'm thinking of. So don't blame her for stealing me, you let her. Where your love stopped, she went a little bit farther. Don't blame her for stealing me, you let her. Where your love stopped, she went a little bit farther. Where your love stopped, she went a little bit farther. Oh yeah.
During World War II, Irving Berlin wrote a Broadway show entitled This Is the Army to raise money for the Army Relief Fund. And here is the title tune of that show. This is the Army, Mr. Jones. No private rooms or telephones. You had your breakfast in bed before, but you won't have it there anymore. This is the Army, Mr. Green. We like the barracks nice and clean. You had a housemaid to clean your floor, but she won't help you out anymore. Do as the bugler commands. They're in the army and not in a band. This is the army, Mr. Brown. You and your baby went to town. She had you worried, but this is war, and she won't worry you anymore. Do as the bugler commands. They're in the army and not in a band. This is the army, Mr. Brown. You and your baby went to town. She had you worried, but this is war, and she won't worry you. No, she won't worry you. No, she won't worry you anymore. In 1943, Warner Brothers filmed This Is the Army with a great cast, including George Murphy, Joan Leslie, Kate Smith, and Ronald Reagan. And recently, I was very happy to go to the post office and see a stamp honoring the 40th President of the United States, Ronald Reagan, and what would have been his centennial, because Ronald Reagan was born exactly 100 years ago on February 6th, 1911, in Tampico, Illinois. And what an amazing life he had. He was the only man in history to go from being a radio sportscaster to Hollywood actor, to governor of California, to president of the United States. Ronald Reagan loved America, and America loved Ronald Reagan. So I would like to dedicate this Irving Berlin song to Ronald Reagan. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home.